In this video, I'll be talking about what your role is as a parent or caregiver and helping your little one build that strong foundation for lifelong learning. So let's dive in a little bit here. What is your role as a parent or caregiver when it comes to helping your little one build that strong foundation for lifelong learning? Well, my friend, your role is to play, but to play with purpose. So you might be thinking, well, what is play with purpose? And what does that even mean? Or what does that even look like on a daily basis with my little one? So let's start with the first one. Let's unpack what play with purpose actually means. When we talk about play with purpose, what we're talking about is a deep understanding that play is how all children learn about the world. Everything that happens with them and through them and to them in this world is learned first through play. Play is how children process their feelings and their emotions. It's how they communicate with others. It's how they get to know themselves better and to get to know other people and different personalities better. Play is how children learn how to disagree with others in a healthy way. Play is how children learn how to fail, but then learn how to problem solve to make things right again. Play is how children form their identity, and they try new identities on and they decide they don't like them. And so then they go back to a different identity. Play is how children work things out. Play is that critical aspect of infancy and childhood that sets the foundation for lifelong learning. Play with purpose means play with your child's developmental milestones in mind. It's understanding where your child is on this continuum of development and also understanding what direction they're pointing in. Play with purpose means play that is centered around your child's abilities and also their interests. And when it comes to play with purpose, your child needs a guide, someone who's been down this road before. Maybe someone who's a little rusty, but someone who's reliable, who's reassuring, but most of all, someone who's going to be a partner in the journey of learning how to play with purpose. And the best partner on this path to your child meeting these developmental milestones, spoiler alert, is you. So, what does that mean to play with purpose as a parent or a caregiver? Let's talk about that next. So there are 4 steps in learning how to play with purpose using the core play way. The first step is understanding a little bit about where your child is on their developmental continuum. Understanding where they are right now and what to expect, what's coming next, what direction are they pointing in when it comes to your child's unique stage of development. This step is called play attention. Second, you need skills and tools. Once you know where your little one is on their continuum of development that's unique to them, you need to know how to help them get from point A to point B. You need to have the skills and the tools to help them along the pathway to meeting those developmental milestones. This step is called play to learn. Third, you need to practice the skills and the tools that you learn about how to help your little one along the path of development. This stage is not about guilt and judginess, about spending every minute of your time productively playing with your child. This is about the quality of the time that you spend with your child, not the quantity of time. And it's knowing what direction you're pointing in, having the skills and the tools that you need to make the time that you spend with your child the quality time that you need. We call this third step play to grow. The fourth and final step on your journey to playing with purpose is mastery. Mastering the skills that you learn through the first 3 steps to be on your pathway to playing with purpose. Clearly understanding what direction your child is pointing in their development. Clearly understanding and being able to use efficiently the tools and skills that you have to play with your child to meet those developmental milestones. Tuned in to what your child's interests and abilities are is playing with purpose and mastering all of that on a daily basis with your little one. That's the core play way to play with purpose. So let's take a look at what play with purpose looks like in practice. It's a little bit like a math problem. You want to take what developmental stage your child is in right now, what their abilities are right now, and then add in what their interests are right now. So if the developmental stage your child is in right now is in that pre-walking stage, and you're seeing them start to look like they really want to start walking more, maybe they're pulling to stand and starting to cruise a little bit, but haven't quite taken that leap to beginning to walk more independently, and they're really interested in dolls or choo-choo trains, you can pair all those things together. Pre-walking stage, demonstrating some ability to be able to pull to stand and wants to kind of walk around a little bit and really loves dollies or choo-choo trains. You can grab a clothes basket and you can fill it with some dollies or maybe even some packages, and you can give the dolly a little ride, hands on each side of that clothes basket, and you can either be a choo-choo train, choo-choo-choo, while you go through the house, or it can be a little car that your dollies are going to go for a ride in, or you can just give it a walk in a little bassinet. And it's a fun way to pair all those three things together. What developmental stage your child is in, what they're working towards, given what abilities they have right now, and what interests them. They really love dollies or they really love choo-choo trains. So it's pairing those three together to help your little one play with purpose, pointing in the direction of their developmental milestones. So let's talk about a second example of how to help your little one play with purpose. So let's say that your little one is in that developmental stage where they're starting to be interested in dressing themselves, and their abilities are showing that they're able to poke their arm through the arm sleeve, or maybe they can pull part of their head through the head of their t-shirt, but they're really into this toy here, this ring stand toy, and they love this toy. And so the way that you might encourage them to better understand how their body moves, and they can put an arm through an armhole and pull it all the way through, or put a head, a shirt on and their shirt goes all the way through, is to use this ring stand. Now, obviously these aren't going to be big enough to go over their head. That's not important. They might still need some help with that. But if your little one wants to play with this ring stand because it's their favorite ring stand ever, you can take the rings and you can put their little arms through the ring stand, boop, like that. And then your little one can bring their hand over and pull them off. And then they can practice putting it on and taking it off. And that's essentially the same skill as dressing. You can do the same thing with larger rings on the legs or just on the feet to work on that sock skill, putting socks on and taking socks off, or putting shoes on and taking shoes off. And there's some great little other rings that are a little bit larger if your baby's a little bit larger, or they're not quite into this toy, just depending on what your little one is into. Again, the developmental stage that your child is in is that pre-dressing skill, being interested in being able to take clothes off and put clothes on. And what their abilities are showing you is that they're starting to be able to figure these things out. And the activities, the things that they're interested in, are things where they stack and put things in and take things out and put things through. And using what they're interested in, looking at what their abilities are, and pointing in the direction of the developmental milestone you're working on is playing with purpose. So your role as a parent or caregiver in helping your little one build that strong foundation for lifelong learning starts with play, but playing with purpose, because we know that every child learns everything that they ever learn by playing. We want to play with purpose, and playing with purpose is understanding where your child is on this developmental continuum, knowing what their abilities are right now and what direction they're pointing in, and framing play around what interests your child to help build a strong foundation for them to continue to work towards those higher level skills. That, my friend, is playing with purpose.